She's a biter. Careful.
She was nice. She was nice.
Listen, I just saw weapons, and I'm like,
you're like,
it's. I won't say anything about it other than it is absolutely phenomenal.
Zach Kreger's awesome.
And
I'm really excited for that one.
Wait, what was it? What was the title?
The movie Weapons.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's good. Brolin's in it. He used to work out at the gym. He actually introduced me to Josh Brolin. Introduced me to my trainer Justin Lovato before the pandemic, and so I hired Justin in 2019 to get me ready for tour.
Oh.
We have there's a whole thing there because when the pandemic happened, we had a secret gym in Justin's garage, but I owned a traveling gym, so when I would go on tour, there was a whole gym set up in the trailer. Because I was spending so much on Ubers going from the stadiums and the arenas, like it's like the open air or whatever they call them.
Sure.
And so I just spent like $2 or $3 grand and bought a whole rig. And my crew members hated me.
That was hard times. That was crazy for people that like to work out.
Well, I just gave him my whole setup. And so like he made so much money because there were no gyms open that he bought a house in Austin. And now he lives in Austin, It's a beautiful house. I went to go visit. He still got my gym equipment in Austin. Well, I mean, what was I going to do with it? I left the band after that.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
It was that and one other gym, right, that people were going to.
Well,
it was like a secret. It was an
Choice gym on Santa Monica was one, but we boarded up the windows. And we were only able to work out from 9 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning because if it was regular hours, the police would come.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah, I know, but it's not really ideal.
I know for people that have different.
But there was some famous people working out at that gym. They were like not giving it up. Yeah. Like there were ball players and like bodybuilders and.
I mean,
it was a super secret. Yeah.
You can't. That was actually insane. The way everything you couldn't do anything. I was getting fined on the beach. I couldn't do yoga on the beach. There was nobody around me.
I saw a guy on Instagram get arrested paddleboarding. I was like, this is the most socially distanced. Well, COVID was weird because like I had to go to Miami to sign a supplement endorsement deal.
Yeah.
And then nobody on the plane wore masks. And then when I got to Miami, people were like there were just boat parties every day, all day. And people were just raging and partying, and then everything was going. The nightclubs were packed.
Yeah.
And I was like...
It was selective. It was very selective.
Well, Sweden didn't do anything.
No. Do you know that I'm Swedish? No, probably not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm Swedish, Ethiopian.
Oh.
And so that was the only place that didn't
I actually had a feeling that you were Ethiopian.
Did you?
Yeah.
I fled, you guys. I ran to Sweden. I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in Sweden for 8 years. No, I'm in the south. So closer to Copenhagen. So you fly into Copenhagen, take the train over to, you know where Malmo is?
No.
You've toured, so maybe you do. No?
Well, I've played Gothenburg. I've played Stockholm. I have
3 hours from Gothenburg.
Okay.
South.
Yeah, I have a gold record in Sweden, in just Sweden.
You have a gold record in a lot of places now that we're on.
Like 27
we're
countries
recording.
I went #1 in or something
Holy
like
crap.
that. I actually recorded one of my #1 songs in Stockholm at Purple Skull Studios. I was on another tour with In Flames.
Yeah.
And it was before the first Bad Wolves record came out. And they were like, they changed the tempo of the song in the studio. So when they sped up my voice, it sounded chipmunky. So I was in Sweden and I called my buddy.
You're like...
The guy who actually played on Zombie is from Sweden.
Oh, wow.
And his cousin recorded me.
Sick.
And then we sent the song back to the studio and the album got mixed and mastered and done while I was away.
That is a very cool story.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was on tour with a Swedish metal band named In Flames.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I love Sweden. I went back.
That was gonna be my next.
Yeah, my old business partner. We had a merch company, and she's from Stockholm, and we went on vacation. You know Lauren Morosky from the gym too. Lauren came with me and Max, and we just went to Sweden. We just went.
I bet if you showed me her face, I bet I would.
Yeah. I feel like. Well, I feel like once I see
gym
somebody,
is where it's at, you guys.
Yeah, once you know somebody from the gym and you go on Instagram, everyone follows each other. You're like, oh.
You're like, oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like the health squad.
It actually, very, well, okay, so since we're already recording, we're already talking about you, let's keep talking about.
Oh, why don't we, you want to just start?
No,
do you have like
how I like
pre-roll?
it. She's done I would just like to... waltz into it casually. This is Tommy Vext. I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Bonjour. You saw me playing air guitar on the treadmill.
Yes, I did. Okay,
I still do that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I play the piano on my when I'm on the bike. So I think maybe it's just something you do when you're thinking of music. I don't know. Is that a thing?
I'm not really a guitar player though. I just am like spazzing out.
He's just cosplaying.
And literally, what I want to do is I want to sing on the treadmill, which I can't do because it'll be so loud.
Your voice is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
My singing teacher is she's been teaching me since I was 19.
Wow.
And I used to babysit. Her name's Melissa Cross, and I used to babysit her son in exchange for vocal lessons in New York City, and now he's in college.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yet you haven't aged a day. Isn't that weird?
That's so nice. Can I hire you to just give me self-esteem?
For ego boost, I got you.
Thanks. It's like, wow, men. This is men receiving compliments awkwardly,
space.
not knowing how to receive compliments. Wow.
No, okay, so
do we just cure male loneliness?
Immediately. No, here's the thing. The thing about so when I see you at the gym, and I have seen you there a few times, because I was fucked up for 10 years. I don't always trust my brain, right?
Sure,
so,
Oh, yeah.
So I would see him working out, and you see a lot of famous people in there too. So it being LA and all, I was like, do I know him because I know him, or do I know him because everybody knows him?
Oh, yeah.
So I was just like, I'm not gonna, and every now and then when I would spot you, I would try to see for a few seconds is there somebody I know that's saying hi to him? Is it like that kind of thing? Are we in the same circle? And then you keep working out and whatever. And then finally literally yesterday, you were on the treadmill and I was going to go to the back and I was like, oh, fuck. I know who this is.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. No, for me, you're the
songs.
guy. No, you sing beautiful songs. You're amazing. But you did a cover of Lana Del Rey's video games. And I paint to that. I'm a painter. As one of my 13 personalities is a painter.
I love that. So piano and painting.
Oh, piano, painting, I guess podcasting now.
The 3 Ps.
Yeah, and this podcast it's called A Cunt's Guide to Peace. Did you know that?
No.
Welcome.
Is that what it says there?
I wrote a book in my sobriety called A Cunt's Guide to Peace.
Okay.
And then somebody said you should do a podcast first before you release your book.
So is this gonna air mostly in Australia and England?
Because I'm gonna be censored.
Because they say cunt all the time.
They'll just beep it, is what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm just shy of 10K listeners, so I'm sure when I hit that, they'll give me restrictions. Who knows?
Sure. You don't seem very cunty.
Thank you. I'm not.
Yeah. You seem very hunty.
Look at that. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, here's where that comes from. It's just what I was called when I feel like when I put up boundaries, I sound so annoying. I sound like one of those women that I just hate. She's like, boundaries in space. But
you're like, I'm in recovery now and I'm learning all this language that protects my inner child and
blah, blah, blah. Exactly.
It's just,
I sound like
you're
that, but
speaking the language of, I don't want to mansplain, but I'm overly... I've been sober 16 years and I've been in 2 decades of therapy. It's the language of, letting other people know you are self-aware of your own worth.
That's all.
Right? Yeah. And it's all.
But people would refer to me as a cunt or a bitch if I perceive it as not being easy to manipulate or you're not getting your way, and then it's suddenly I'm a bitch. So I think
I'm in the music industry. I get it.
Yeah. So I think that I would reflect in the 2 years of sobriety. I was reflecting. I would talk to my sponsor about it, and and I was like, you know what? I'm not though. I'm really not actually unpleasant. I just I speak up if I don't like something or if I don't want to do something, and that I was always called those things. So I was like, I thought it'd be an ironic thing to call it. I kind of just want peace, to be honest, and that's what I was in pursuit of in my sobriety. Okay. And so that's where that came from. But anyway, back to you. You have over 441 million views on YouTube. That's insane.
Am I?
Crazy.
Oh, that's just for one video, though. That's just...
Oh, that little thing.
Yeah, that's zombies at... Yeah, I think zombies... So the stats I gave you is from a few years ago. Zombies passed like 570 million.
Wow.
I think Remember When is at like 50 to 60 million. The other one's at 100 million. The rest of them are floating at 10. And then when I departed from the band, I have like a few that just did like, you know, like 6 million, 3 million, 4 million. But it's not the same.
That's nuts.
The metrics, it's very difficult to go from being in the machine to being independent. Like financially, you make 10x the amount of money by owning your own music and masters, and so you can make. Yeah, and so you can make a really decent living.
Yeah.
Putting out your own music. It's just all the other stuff is like getting on the right tours and getting PR and getting all this stuff. It's all gate kept.
So what does that look like for you now? Now that you've obviously been in the machine for a long time.
Well, I mean, like,
now you're independent. Is that right?
I mean, I sort of, you know, I was just talking about this at a meeting today. Like during COVID, I got very like politically outspoken, and I sort of like burnt the house down, you know. And I'm like you, I refuse. Or at that time, like I refused to be silent on my belief systems, many of which now are just common sense.
Right.
But at the time, people were stuck at home. There was like tons and tons of fear. And I wasn't really adding to the solution by going on the internet and being like, look at this.
Do you feel like it was inflammatory?
No, I just think that in my experience of being in the industry is there are a lot of typecasts. There are like a lot of people who thought, my experience is that there was some very nice white people who thought I should have specific political beliefs based on my blackness.
Right.
And that wasn't the case,
right,
because I don't look at things through a scope of race. I tend to be more analytical about numbers and facts. And so like, you know, that sort of stuff doesn't really stick with me. Like my moral compass is like about right and wrong, and I just saw a lot of wrong things, and I'm seeing wrong things on both sides of the spectrum.
Sure.
And at the time, I just made a choice that was
to
the
be
least
vocal about it, and then
my choices were like to choose the least shitty opponent, right?
Sure.
And that became like
a thing.
Yeah, it was a absolute massive.
I'm sorry that happened. It seems like, well, how do you feel about it, actually? Forget how I feel about it. Like, considering the consequences of, like you said, being canceled and having to kind of regroup your whole life and reapproach your career. So how do you feel? Do you feel like it was worth it to speak your mind, or do you feel like maybe I could have just like not?
No, I think that this is the thing, as it's outlined in the program, we don't regret the past or wish to shut the door on it. A couple of things that sit well with me were the fact that I don't pray to a showbiz god, right?
Okay,
my
good.
higher power is much more larger and, you know, more important than me. You know, my validation comes from service. My validation comes from my relationship with the spirit.
Yes.
My validation comes from my ability to provide. Some of those things did get threatened and compromised in the process. But I think it's not so much what I say. The lesson is like, it's not about what I say. It's the way that I say it. And then because I've had a violent childhood, a poverty existence. I've been abandoned. You know, I was like, my mom was a crackhead, abandoned me and my twin brother to be, you know, to go get high. I got adopted into an alcoholic family. My parents did the best that they could.
Yeah, it was around
so all that, you know, and then I ended up starting doing drugs when I was like 12 years old, and then got involved in selling drugs, and you know, my brother and I were just not living that life. So I grew up in a very violent, survivalist mentality.
Yeah.
And people who have not had my experience in America can't process the matter-of-factness or the aggression in which I plainly state my feelings and my inability. Like, I'm not apologetic for how I feel about things. And that is terrifying to some people.
Probably. I mean, I think, would you say that because you have been through the things that you've been through, obviously you would be more hardened, but also it's not as easy to kind of dissenter, to throw you off with, well, if you have these opinions, then we're going to freeze you out of here. Or you're like, okay.
Yeah, I
you know what I mean?
I also
like,
don't deal well with threats. Like
right.
It's coercion, then it's threats, then it's this.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I survived being murdered. I've been in the witness protection program.
I saw that interview. You said you died in...
Yeah.
What was it?
2010.
2010, meaning like what was it that had happened? Tell me.
Oh, so I came home to a home invasion. I was about 14 months sober.
That's right.
My twin brother had been doing drugs and broke into the apartment and hit me with a crowbar from behind, fractured my skull. I fought him. He broke my arm and then ruptured my spleen. And then I wound up getting to the neighbors, calling 911, and then in the ER, I had succumbed to my injuries and flatlined. And
so you were dead for how many minutes?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I wrote a biography. It's going to come out next year, and
I'm so
Riley Perez is the author, and
very nice.
He did he got all the research, and he did everything, and.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's something I didn't want to. I hired him too because there was things you don't want to revisit.
Absolutely. I think that's smart.
Yeah, and it's more about my experience, my near-death experience, and dying sober, and and having a near-death experience completely clean.
Yeah.
And meeting my higher power in my death experience and experiencing the afterlife, and I had never.
Yeah, you said you saw your life flash before your.
Yeah, well, the first part. Well, first everything went dark. Then my whole life flashed before my eyes, and then I was present in the surgery room, and I was trying to get. Well, no, I was in there and I was trying to look for a doctor because I was like, hey, something's wrong with me. Stop. And I looked and I was on the table.
You're like, oh, you're on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And then I got sucked up out of the atmosphere. And I had like went through a tunnel and it looked like a kaleidoscope. And I think that was the Van Allen belt, if that's what that was, right? That's the radiation belt that goes around the planet. Yeah, that's what I think happened. I try to be logical about it, but
do you know what they say that is?
Supernatural.
When that happens, when that experience, it's when you're like apparently your sight is getting warped or something. Like it's your brain is like shutting down, and so it narrows and it creates that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I'm with you though. I think I fly in my dreams, so I bet I would fly in surgery and stuff too. Like I just feel like.
Well, there's no way to explain what happened, right? And then I saw God, or whatever it is, the phenomenon, right? Like the creator of all things, and it was a mass consciousness of white energy, and I was just flooded with peace and love, and and then I started having recollections, spiritual recollections, of all the other lives. So not only did my life as me flash before my eyes in my when I made contact with the phenomenon, I remembered all the other times I died. Wow. Yeah, and then I went to, and then it was really trippy.
No, you're not boring me, please.
Yeah, So I wrote all this stuff in the book, and it's trippy. Wow. So and then I woke up in the hospital, and randomly I was in the ICU, and I thought I was in a coffin because there was the woman standing over me crying was this girl Jessie, who was my high school girlfriend's best friend, who I hadn't seen in like 12 years.
Her high school girlfriend's best friend? Tommy, is there? Why is she crying?
Because she was my nurse.
What?
Yeah.
That is insane. Mm-hmm. Were you confused for a second? You're like, what are you doing here? Yeah,
so she was the first person I saw, and the next person I saw, this guy came in the room, and I thought he was a cop, and he was like, hey, my name's George. I'm from Alcoholics Anonymous. I was like, how did you find me? Aww. And so when I was being rushed to the ER, I called the guy who got me sober, Sonny, Sonny M. He played guitar in Snot and Seven Dust. He was my Eskimo.
Yeah.
And we were in a band together, and he was sober, and I was not, and he helped me get clean.
Nice.
And I called him to tell him I loved him because I knew I was dying. I didn't remember this part because I was going in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
Like, dying is like time traveling. You just like, I'm on the ground. I'm like, I'm in an ambulance. Like, you know. Oof. And,
that's intense.
Yeah. Then I'm like, my mom was there. I'm like, what? I'm like, you were there and you were there. Like, so I can laugh about it now. I'm sure. I'm sure it's very traumatizing for everybody.
It's not funny. Yeah.
No, my family, we've been through so much stuff.
You have to have humor about it.
We laugh about this.
Yeah.
This is also probably a character defect. Why, like, people
coping mechanism probably at some
and I'm
point,
like, it's fucking nothing serious.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. With everything you just said, I think that made you, put you in a position where it's really hard to kind of maneuver you into, like, it's hard to pressure you because you've just been through.
Well, everything is sort of this is a simulation.
Yeah.
We're in a simulation.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, my understanding of, I was sent back. I was told I didn't fulfill my agreements, and I got sent back. And so then I constantly chased what was I supposed to do. Yeah. So then
Is that in terms of purpose?
Well, in terms of serving God, like, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. What do you want?
I don't, I thought I was supposed to sing music, and I always felt that since I was 14. Yeah. Then it happened, then it didn't happen, then then I was like, maybe I'm supposed to get sober. Yeah. And then it was maybe I was supposed to be there so that I was the one that dealt with the situation because I could survive it. And then this scenario went on for a long time, right? Yeah. So I wound up, my friend Mia Tyler picked me up, and then I actually recovered from my injuries at Steven Tyler from Aerosmith's house in Massachusetts, and they took care of me, and I made sure that they, they had my medication, so I didn't relapse. Like, they gave me my medication as prescribed, and then I stayed with my friend Brooke McLean in New York, and eventually, they took my brother in, and then a few months later, I was called in to the district attorney's office, and they said, hey, we have audio recordings of your brother hiring someone to kill you. And my brother had posted bail and was out, and I went into witness protection.
Do you want to talk about why he wanted to hurt you? What did he want to hurt you?
I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and, this is not, again, I say this, it's just matter-of-factly, and it's probably horrifying to a normal person. But my brother's murdered people. He's a criminal.
When you hear it the first time, okay, well,
he's like an actual gangster. He is.
Sure, but your own brother, it's it does hit a little differently. It makes you wonder, and your twin on top of that.
If you're operating at that frequency, and you're a drug addict, there's no fair. And I used to feel personally like, and Al-Anon helped me with this a lot. I used to feel personally like, why, we're adopted. I'm the only blood that you have. Like, why wasn't that enough for you to not kill me?
Right.
But asking that is like, it's like asking a crackhead about the stock market.
Was it on your fourth step ever? Not to intrude on that, but
every couple of years I do.
So the
more
fourth step,
inventory.
is writing down your resentments for those of you that.
The fourth step is we made an inventory.
An inventory, yes, of the things that
fearless and moral inventory of ourselves, and then we shared it with another person. I just did a fourth and fifth step.
Did you? I'm on my fourth. I'm dying.
With my sponsor on Sunday. And my sponsee on Saturday.
God damn. So. Turns out I have beef with everyone. Who knew?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you obviously not to like intrude on that, but he must, did you, was he on your fourth? And how did you process that? How did you?
Oh, it's taking
Are you still
years.
Dealing with it?
No, I mean, I had, I got diagnosed with acute post-traumatic stress disorder. I think the time it was about 10 months of being in witness protection before my brother bench warranted, the FBI got him, the hitman was killed. I knew who it was, but I was so afraid to tell.
The hitman was killed?
Yeah, I was so afraid to tell the police because if I told the police, I was afraid they would kill my mom and my sister. Oh, that was just what I naturally thought would happen, right? And so I was like, I'm just going to take the heat and like get out of here. And so I couch surfed, in Florida and whatever. And then eventually it was Florida, California, and Jersey, and I was just, bopping around. And then, I had a therapist, and it was actually like the state appointed me a counselor.
Okay.
Because I was broke, like I hadn't worked, I was messed up.
What year is this?
So the incident happened September 20th of 2010. 2010, okay. And then this didn't wrap up till like late 2011, I think. Or
okay,
almost
that's still a minute to be in like.
Yeah, well then it's also, then I still had to testify against him, and that was a crazy day,
Do you just feel removed from all of these things, or do you just like?
Well, I've spoken about it at meetings so much. Like
you're talked out about it.
I've spoken hundreds and hundreds of times. I feel like.
I think that was just. I'm just trying to ask what people listening probably would have asked, where they were like, "How are you okay?" Like you probably. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that's also the gift of the program. It's like I was in the hospital, and there were guys bringing meetings to me every day in the ICU till I left.
I love the program for that.
Yeah,
they show up.
And then
they do.
I've also done hospital commitments and jail panels, and since I've been back to LA, it's like mental institutions, jail panels. Yeah. I like wherever the gangbangers are. Because it just like I fuck with those people, you know what I mean? Maybe I secretly am trying to save my brother and every other person who's and I'm like, bro,
be an element of that.
Read this. I'm like, you're gonna be okay. You don't have to do this anymore.
You're helping people. That's fine. Yeah. Probably, I would imagine.
It's a healthy
fixation. It's all good.
No, like an outlet. It's like I believe that altruism is the best way to heal.
Yeah.
We spend so much time in the new era of therapy, and everybody needs to identify what's wrong with them. Yeah. And that's the thing too. If you don't go into therapy and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, and it's going to start here, and we're going to wrap this up in 6 months. Your therapist will have you in every week or every 2 weeks. They don't care. Your therapist doesn't care about you.
That's what's so disheartening
about it.
People
don't realize this.
Well, hang on.
And therapy is a monetized version of confession. 100%. Catholicism had this. Native Americans had this. Yeah. Right?
Well, we have it in my culture too, where we mediate. Yeah. It's a part of the. I think I agree with you about the therapist structure, and I think that it is strange for people that don't have specific kind of love for people and a gift for helping people heal to be in that profession, like just to read a textbook, do the test, and suddenly you're a therapist. And sure. But at the same time, I don't want people to not seek out help, because every now and then there are people that are really good at it.
But it's about I just think it's boundaries too, and again, just like me working with another alcoholic, is. I'm helping them helps me. A lot of therapists they get a sense of gratitude and relief from helping other people who can't help themselves. Yeah. But there's a difference between step work, whether it's gambling, sex addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, Overeaters Anonymous, whatever. There's an arc where you actually do recover. Yeah. So, and I have...
It's a spiritual thing. And
that's the component, is like, whatever you believe in, even agnostics and atheists can believe in something that's greater than themselves. Yeah. And for some reason, the issues that we hold on to, the trauma that we store in our bodies, the spiritual anchors... My experience has been identifying them is very important, because you can't connect the dots until you collect the dots, right? But then you have to you uncover. I'm a data girl too. Yeah, so you uncover, discover, but then you discard. Yeah. Right. So it's like our lives are like speeding down the 405 and there's no traffic, and you're just driving down the highway your whole life, and you have a pickup truck and you're throwing all your junk every time you go to the gas station or get food and you're throwing it in the back.
Yeah.
After a while, all that crap, it's in the back and you slam the brakes because there's all of a sudden dead stop traffic and all of it flies forward in your lap and you have to look at it and be like, okay,
well,
like
what's this
is a toothbrush. Like, okay, I need that. Like, this is, you know, this is my hat. Like, this is a wrapper. I'm like, this is a bag of dog poop. We don't need this. You know, like, so you have to actually go through all your shit. And then where do you go with it? Whatever it is that you believe, the source, the phenomenon, the creator of all things, right? I believe that all of us are fragmented consciousness. Every human, every living being, even trees, are pieces of the creator, and the creator was in the universe alone, and the loneliness was unfathomable, and so that it decided to create the Big Bang, and then it literally, and this is what happened to me when I downloaded this. This was my experience, and it fractured itself into, you know, trillions and trillions of microscopic celestial pieces, and those things inhabit everything that has life. Does
that mean that you feel like we all should be connecting with each other?
Yeah, as we're going through this, the creator is experiencing all human and animal and plant existence in the omnipresent eternally, which means all the timelines. All the time, every variant of time, past, present, and future, all at the same time. And that is
so cool. This is not where I thought this interview was going, and I love it. No, I'm fascinated.
I can only try to articulate what my experience was.
No, please.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but...
I'm loving it. No, don't say that. Don't undermine what you're saying at all.
Crazy isn't an undermine. Crazy is what people call you when you know things that they're not ready.
I was fascinated.
But that's what I say. Right, like Galileo they killed him. You know, there's a lot of people they thought were crazy.
Yeah. No, I think it's such an interesting view of things, and I wonder how you talk to people that come to you for help with, and for people that people can be so disheartened in the beginning stages of seeking out sobriety.
Sure.
And this probably sounds so intense to them, right? But you probably don't start off with...
I don't talk about this stuff
you don't go right away. Right.
No, we listen. It says it's out, following the work. When it comes to recovery, because I had my first sponsor, Uncle Nick, he was very by the book, and being by the book produced the spiritual experience in me.
Yeah.
So, it says, get the man talking.
Yeah.
I follow working with others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bare bones basic.
Yeah.
And then normally what I'll do is I start off with the big book, and then if the sponsee remains sober and gets through all 12 steps, then we'll move on to reading the 12 and 12.
Okay.
And then if somebody has a lot, like my sponsor has 43 years sober, I have 16. Oof. We're in the 12 and 12.
Yeah.
It's, that's the second and the sister book. It's an addition.
Oh, yeah,
and
we should explain what all of these are. So there's a big book, which is the Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And
I don't know if you might have to bleep that out because that's technically
No, I'm not outing
anyone's.
No, I'm not outing anyone's anonymity. I'm in the program. I'm outing myself. He's in the program. He's outing himself.
Some people get weird about it.
No, I know, but I don't care because people need
radio and film and podcast.
People need to know about it. To know the thing is, people need help.
I have a hit song called "Sober," so I think everybody knows. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah. You and me are the only ones that could out each other. And here's the thing. I understand people get a little iffy about the program, but it's there to help people, and people won't come if they don't know. There are people that I know that should know that it's not this. It actually helps people. It actually can save your life, and it's not this rigid idea. I mean, I guess some meetings can be rigid, but there are different kinds.
There's a screw for every nut, right?
Exactly.
So, there are certain... You just got to go. You got to find your people. You got to find your tribe.
Yeah,
it's like
be patient
everything.
And find your people. But back to what we were talking about. So I think in the beginning, I think it's a bit hard to try to connect with the idea of sobriety with people that kind of have such peaceful in it. You're so not only are you like peaceful in it, you have this whole idea of view of what you are. Like, you've worked on it a long time. You have a spirituality about it. And do you remember feeling disconnected in the beginning from everything when you just entered the program? And how do we even like?
No, when I came in, I was gray.
Present it to people.
You know, I had a couple overdoses and I was homeless.
Yeah.
I was a low bottom. And I was sleeping on my buddy's couch, and I didn't have a car. I didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah. This is 16 years ago.
Yeah, I had like a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a bank account. I had a couple $100 in my pocket, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bottom.
Yeah, and so, you know, I just, but I had the gift of desperation. I was so done with my own bullshit and my own self and the excuses and the misery, the deliberate manufacture of misery. And my mind, right? I have this magnifying mind. Yeah. And it's sort of like, you know, the three-headed dog from Hercules, Cerberus, and it's just chewing on it. Yeah. It needs a bone to chew on, and I'm the bone. Yeah. My mind wakes up before I do and begins the process of telling me how much of a worthless piece of shit I am and how I should kill myself. Yeah. If I don't do
I had similar internal dialogue.
So, yeah. If I don't do my spiritual maintenance. And I've been dry in recovery. Yeah. Right? I got resentments after getting canceled, and I just was like, fuck this. And then I just coasted. And that's not a good thing for me. You know? I got bitter, and then I got miserable. And then I sought a spiritual experience.
Well, okay, so that's a good question, I think, because then you'd been like, what, sober 10 years? 11 years?
I think
around that time.
It was 2021 when everything. I left the band in January. It's funny, I actually quit the band publicly January 7th of 2021. The band being
Bad Wolves?
Yeah, okay. And it's also that was the 2-year anniversary of Dolores O'Riordan's death, who was why the song Zombie was released. Oh. And then I just took my ball and went home, you know. So
in sobriety, when you have about 11 years, at that point, let's say 10, 11, something like that, how do you deal with a crisis? So I think when everyone has something to say, it's not even like a situation in a friend group where you're just having a disagreement or whatever. It's like, it's amplified, right?
Well, yeah, everything becomes public information and
regurgitated and added to and you know.
Yeah, and I'm getting attacked, and then, you know, and I mean, it was crazy.
A lot of stress in sobriety. So how did you deal with that? With just the sober part of it? I'm sure there are other aspects, but like.
I mean, I kind of got hit like the media was going after me for a while. Yeah. And then my band members turned on me, and then the label turned on me, and then, and I had an ex, me to me, and then her lawyer was like, we'll drop this if you give us $100,000.
Oh,
and I was like, go fuck yourself. And I went to court with them, and like ultimately the judge ruled that there was no evidence of domestic violence, but I blasted the whole court case and I aired all her shit out all over social media from millions and millions of fans. So I got an online bullying restraining order for a year. And they counted that as a victory. And then the media didn't
counted it as a victory?
Well, the media didn't like my political leanings, so they used that as a smear campaign.
Did you think at that moment, maybe I shouldn't because of everything going on? Maybe they'll still use it to attack me, or you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to swing?
No, I don't know. Maybe I had like an invincibility complex. I don't know. Because I had survived being murdered and I've been through so much shit. I was just like, this is one more thing. You know? Yeah. And so...
and were you talking to your sponsor at the time?
No, I had like... This stuff made me like, fuck everybody. And I just stopped. I just was like, you know what, fuck it.
I think it's more impressive that you stayed sober in that case because, like, considering how high stress all of this was.
I wouldn't recommend doing this, though.
No.
So I'm talking
We're giving
about
people tools
honestly.
If shit is happening,
though. And in case anybody who has time wants to know what not to do, don't do that. Yeah. Right? Definitely don't do that, you know? Yeah. And also, too, to a degree, my career got so... The only reason I even had a career is because I was working in treatment. So... I was always, I always had a job. I would always do hustles or whatever.
Sure.
And I was always making music. And after the whole thing happened with my brother, after about a year in New York, I moved back to LA.
Right.
Wound up starting a nonprofit organization with this guy, Aaron. And we couldn't really keep it going. We were taking donations, tax exempt donations from concerts and getting beds for musicians in rehabs. Oh. And so we didn't have the bandwidth or the ability to keep it going. It's a lot of work. Yeah. And I wound up getting a job working in Santa Monica at Madden House, which is a men's treatment facility. It's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. And then I got hired by my boss. He actually was speaking at a meeting at the log cabin, and he asked me to open up for him. Oh. So he was like, "Can you do 15 minutes? I'm speaking for 45." I was like, "Okay, cool."
What is that, like telling your story for 15?
Yeah, and then he was like, I'm in the music industry, so I call opening up and headlining, but I did the short talk.
It's you doing this talk.
Yeah, and he has a crazy story. His name's Earl Hightower. He was in a plane crash. His whole family died, and he survived. And
oh my God!
He was in a private plane, and his family, he had to watch his sister
Survivor's
die, and then
guilt.
Well, no, and then they crashed in a mountain in Mexico, and then people came and robbed them, and he survived eventually, and then he became
so dark.
Yeah, and so I went and spoke, and I told the story of. My story with my brother and my mom holding
You're
my
like,
hand
I can
dying.
match the dark. I have something.
Well, no, we just tell the truth. And then he was like, "Why didn't you tell me about this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know. You didn't ask. You're my boss." And him and his wife helped me get certified, and they paid for me to get certified as a life coach.
You really leaned into like just being of service in specifically that.
Yeah, and then I was like a sober coach. Wow. And so one day, I was making like $100 a day, and then one day he was like, "Hey, I need you to be at this address," and they brought in a new guy to take my job, and I was freaked out. I was like, "Oh my God, I lost my job! Like what?" And I had dinged up the company car. I had like hit a pole. I was like, So I thought I was getting fired, and I thought I was meeting him somewhere to get canned. No. And I met him, and then we proceeded to go to this property, and filled with security guards twice my size. And it was a massive
And he's
celebrity.
6'1", by the way, so twice his size is scary.
And so it was a massive A-list celebrity, and that became my first client. And I lived with him
as sober coach.
Yeah,
sober coaching. Wow.
Yeah, and then I did that, and that's a very different. Those jobs pay like $1,000 to $3,000 a day, and so
you were back to making the kind of money you were making before.
No, I never made money like this.
Oh, this was before
before the band, and
the band.
I was just. So then I started sober coaching, and I did a really good job. And so word gets around town pretty fast. And then I was getting all these jobs, and then I'd work like 2 or 3 months and get burnout because it's a lot of mental and emotional burnout.
Of course.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the reality of
what coaching?
What a celebrity is like.
Oh, on top of that, oh God,
like drugs, and you're like, I'm worth $300 million. I'll do what I want. You're like. No, you can't do that, Billy.
No.
Like, Billy, put it down, Billy. That's not anybody's real name.
No. I figured, but that's funny. Oh God, I can only imagine. So, just a short, to interject with a similar story, not similar in any way other than sober coaching. That I had somebody I know needed a sober coach, and it was just organizing that and trying to arrange that within the program. First of all, was amazing because it's such a you can just call people and they'll actually help you.
Yeah.
In the program, which is very cool. I was just like, hey, so-and-so got in a fight, his jaw's fucked, and we need to get him a sober coach. Actually, he needs rehab. So they searching for a sober coach and then talking to the sober coaches and all that stuff. I'm in awe of everything they do. They're just like the amount of time they have to put in to be with this person and try to regulate their mental space and help them get in a safe space mentally.
It's very
intense.
It's very stressful, and it's very important to take breaks.
Yeah, you can get fatigue, huh?
Yeah. And so this all goes back to now I'm like financed.
Yeah.
So I made a record with my friends and put out this band.
You're touring, it said. Well, I thought.
Well, no.
As a book.
This is back in 2015, 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still back there.
Sorry.
And so, I did that band, and then John from Bad Wolf sent me a song. I sang on it. It was actually for a BMW commercial. Oh. So I used to do production work, and so I have friends who do commercial and music videos, commercials, high fashion, film.
Yeah.
And they needed an unlicensed heavy metal song, so they called. I didn't work there anymore, but Peter was like, "Hey, do you have a song that we could use that isn't owned by anybody?" And so I was like, "I'll go record it," and that became the first Bad Wolf song. And then a couple, like 2 months later, I got a call from Five Finger. They were like, "Hey, can you come on tour with us as a sober coach?" And then on that tour.
So just you as a sober coach?
Yeah, I was sober coaching the band. One of the band members. I was out there to make sure they were okay.
Yeah.
They wound up, sneaking out in the middle of the night, and it got bad, and they got sent home. And the band asked me to sing, and so like I had to.
That's wild.
Yeah, I wound up singing for them for their entire European tour,
which
is what led to me getting signed.
Wow.
So I wasn't there. I was literally there to help the guy
in service.
Like, yeah, and then and then I wound up having to take over, and it was weird because this is how God and the universe works. As soon as you don't want something anymore, the universe gives it to you.
I have a theory about that. I think you just have to not be.
You can't be spiritually thirsty.
Yeah, you have to be willing to be without it and still be okay. Do you know what I mean? And I think the way people fixate on the things that they want is
people have
terrifying.
A tendency to falsely believe, and I've experienced this. I have achieved every dream and goal beyond my wildest dreams, and none of it fixed me. So sorry. So good
the
news, bad news, yeah. And I know a lot of guys who are, I know some billionaires. I know some, I know some people.
I know themselves too. You know what I mean?
I know some presidents. Like I know some people.
Yeah.
And money, power, and prestige. It's not everything.
Yeah.
Right. Money is a tool. Accolades and stuff feel good, but it's fleeting. Then you have to keep up with it, right? It's like the anxiety. Oh, if
you love it,
you have an accidental number one, and now we got to keep doing it. And I enjoy the challenge, but I'm also not vibrating on the same frequency as the other people that I'm in a band with.
Yeah.
And that can make a tectonic shift.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
I think it's a superpower if you've had, I don't know if it's a misfortune or if you've been fortunate enough to be humbled in whatever way to the point where you thought you were in despair because you lost something you thought you really needed and you really loved and life can't exist without it. When you recover from that and the perspective you get from the thing that you thought you loved so much that you couldn't be without, who can touch you then? Do you know what I mean? Who can hurt you then?
Well, you can be hurt. That's what I learned.
Yeah?
Right? Yeah, because people, Jordan Peterson talks about this.
Love Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, he talks about people aren't traumatized because of a narcissist. Because
the malevolence.
It's the malevolence.
I know.
It's encountering a person who deeply, deeply wants to hurt and destroy you.
Well, that's true, though. Yeah. That's.
So I experienced that with my brother, and that was a fleeting moments, and then that carried on through my experience of being in witness protection, but I re-experienced it with cancel culture. I re-experienced the re-traumatization of faceless people who were trying to actively harm me, whether it was financially. And these people are too, I'm used to gangsters and thugs, not like bankers
which
and,
is a
and
different and
music
direct
industry
approach.
people.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're, it's like men fight with swords and women fight with poison. And it's much different when the emotional violence is orchestrated and it's engaged in reputation destruction. Right?
Which
especially
also,
when I lived this life.
Yeah.
And I'm actually behind the scenes, actively, constantly thinking of others. And then an actively financed, smear campaign. And I'm not a politician. It's not what I signed up for.
It's just a new form of bullying. That whole, the whole thing with social media and the basic structure of how we engage each other as people is the same as it's always been and always will be the same. I think it's just how we go about it. It can shift. Like with social media now, you can bully differently. You know what I mean? It's just bullying. It's still just bullying.
Well, social media does a few things, right? Human beings are hardwired with empathy, unless you're a psychopath or a narcissist.
Correct.
So in a group setting, if you're having an argument and I visibly see that what I'm saying is upsetting you, naturally, even when we're little kids, you naturally, this humanness to protect you from what,
I can see this is making you sad. Let me pull back.
And you roll it back. With avatars, because everybody's profile is an avatar, it's easy to dehumanize.
Absolutely.
It's also very easy to dehumanize people who you assume have things that you wish you had for yourself but didn't earn. And so, I'm doing an open casting call right now for musicians, and I'm only hiring sober people. That's just my boundary.
Absolutely.
And, some guy went crazy on me about...
I feel discriminated.
Yeah, because he was like, well, what about weed? I was like, weed's a drug. He's like, well, it's
My
Cali
beats-
sober. And I'm like, there's no such thing.
Can I tell you something? I was Cali sober before I went sober, and I'll tell you why. I'll argue for it. Only
you could
because
argue for it.
He's like, don't mean I feel it. But here's the thing. Cutting back, you know how the term feeding the beast, in the context of like addiction, to me, it was a way to bribe the beast. I was like, I need to stop this. I need to stop drinking, and everything else I'd kicked a long time ago. So I was like, I'm going to do this for a year, and then if I can keep it for a year, then I will stop that too. And my detox from weed was actually violent. It was worse than when I kicked. So it is a drug. I do agree with you.
Also, the amount of THC that exists in marijuana now compared to 20 or 30 years ago, it's like rocket fuel. People are like, huh?
Well,
but
I clean
feel
mind.
like this is what I said, and this is what I stand by. Like, I feel like when people say Cali sober, I feel like it's wearing blackface. I'm like, dude, you are literally counterfeiting. It's to me, it's like absolutely fucking offensive, right?
And I don't really.
That's how I personally feel. It's not something that I like. I don't go out here and tell people how to live their lives.
No.
But when I said this to this guy, he was so upset, and then he started trolling me, and he'd go on everything and be like, "Fuck you," and I was like, "Dude,
he doesn't need to do all that."
I'm like, 2 weeks ago, you begged me for an audition, and now you hate me because you can't quit doing drugs.
As somebody who was Cali sober, he probably felt. No, I'm not going to speak for him. I would have felt probably that the work that I'd done to get this far was being undermined, and I would have been butthurt and be like, "Excuse me, do you know what I came from?"
But again, I just said one of my character defects is saying things and not being considerate of other people's sensitivities. I just say them. If you ask me how I feel, I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I think he's the one who's being sensitive in this context, actually, truthfully. But I'm just trying to maybe understand as somebody who was saying Cali sober for like a year. But ultimately, I agree with you. I think that if the goal is to have a clear mind, to have a better life, to be healthier overall and more honest and transparent and realize your goals, you should probably be sober. And what that means is not doing anything.
I don't know. Right? Like I don't have opinions on Ozempic because I don't take it and I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, whatever. Like
no, I get it.
I used to be morbidly obese and I lost over 130 pounds at one point, but however, that was a long time ago. However, people want to lose weight, they lose weight. I don't know.
So pros and cons of, no, you won't say any cons in sobriety, would you?
The cons of sobriety?
Pros and cons of life in sobriety as somebody who has...
You're raw dogging life. And also, too, the longer you stay sober, your own excuses, they come out of your mouth and you're like...
Yeah. Oh my God, facts.
Like, you know, you get like...
You get more honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm in this space of, you know, every couple years, more things change, right? Yeah. So... the road gets narrower, you know, when it comes to money. The road gets narrower when it comes to career. The road gets narrower when it comes to relationships. You know, I had a failed relationship last October. And, you know, last year I had my brother-in-law was killed in an accident.
Sorry.
My dad died of cancer. My ex attempted to commit suicide in her home.
Sorry.
And then went into an institution after that. And I buried several people. I had an old mentor take his own life. I lost a bunch of guys who I was working with.
So sorry.
Program. But that's life. Yeah. And so what I did is, I hit a reset and I got with a therapist and I did grievance and trauma therapy. Mm-hmm. And again, it had to end. Yeah. Right. It was so intense. I was getting so. I would lose.
Like I could live like this.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be so mentally and emotionally draining. I would get depressed. Yeah. But it's like Jim Carrey says, like sometimes I need to be in deep rest, right, so that I can recover from the character that I am trying to be or trying to become.
Sure.
And so part of processing. When you're like me and life is happening and you don't allow yourself to feel your feelings because you're so, you're like primary target, primary objective, primary purpose, those emotions get trapped. And when you bring them up in therapy, they need space to come out.
Yeah.
And then you let them out and then you say, okay, I have processed this and I thank you for your time. Thank you for the work. And you know, when I get another storage facility full of bullshit, I'll call you and
I'll be right back. Yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah. So, you know.
So you have a routine for how to process those things. I mean, those are actually the tools I'm getting now, which is really helpful. Yes, that's a big con that you're raw dogging life. And I think for me, as a self-identified rageaholic, that space we were talking about, I don't know if it recorded when we were doing that, when we were talking about that, but the space, that's all I ever prayed for was space to think before I react to something. And that's all I want. I just want a second.
Thinking doesn't...
Yeah.
I don't know if thinking... Well, again, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling those feelings.
Yeah.
And then I remember... when I realized, no, my mind is not helping me.
Yeah.
So my mind creates the reaction.
Yeah.
The spirit is the pause. Mm. So things happen and they come into my sphere that I perceive as damaging. And then I want to hit you before you hit me.
Oh, I want to control it.
Yeah. And then I'm unconscious and I'm reacting because I'm listening to my mind. When something happens and I do nothing, no action is an action. When I absolutely do nothing, the space, right? Like I said earlier, I don't know if it was recorded, every year of sobriety, I get one more second of react before I react. That space of pause is where a spiritual decision is made. Now, even with 16 years sober, if I'm not actively meditating and praying or being,
working muscles,
working my spiritual muscles, I can still wait to the 16th second and be like, nah, fuck this,
and like, then, I thought about it.
Yeah, but there's more consequences, and I'm like, the more power that you have, the more destruction you have, you know. So it's different when if I go fire off and like crucify somebody on the internet in a post, it has way more reverberation than if I'm like on a park bench homeless and I'm like, hey, fuck you guys with your jobs, like
100%. But also like the pride I feel, I have to wrap up, but the pride that I feel when I'm able to step back in those moments and factor in, even have a second to think like maybe the person's not doing well today, or maybe, just having like a little bit perspective, zooming out, unless it's like a moment where
it's a meter maid. No. I'm actually practicing being kind to meter maids because I just moved back to Santa Monica and I forgot. I'm like at least in 3 months. I'm $1,200 into tickets.
I don't drive. I can't. I don't drive because I'm a rageaholic, if you can believe it. Like I had an incident when I was 18 on the highway, and I was like, "No, my mom said don't ever drive. Don't drive." And
so you don't have a license? Oh.
No, I swear, when Uber was invented...
You're like a New Yorker.
When Uber was invented, I was like, I prayed for this. I was growing up.
Do you like Waymo? Have you gone on a Waymo?
No, not yet. But I would love that more because that means I don't have to talk to the person. No offense to Uber people, but I'm not always chatty, and I get car sick. Okay. So when they want to chat, I'm just like, please.
And you trust the robots.
You know what? Can they be worse than the people who can be preoccupied in their own mind, who could be drunk driving, who could be on pills? Say a prayer and get in the car.
Okay. That's a lot of trust, girl. All right.
I mean, it is what it is, but I'm so grateful you came on, and I'm so grateful my brain worked finally. I was like, I do know who that is. That's the guy. Look, there are family members I can't remember thanks to the partying I've done. All right.
Well, it'll come back, though. It does.
I'm told.
Yeah.
I'm told, yeah. I make fun of it, but it does make me sad. There's just things. There's like performances I don't remember from like piano, stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely have shows that people were like,
you were like, I was in Germany? Stop.
Yeah. I have blacked out in Germany, yes.
Everyone blacks out in Germany, Tommy.
They drink a lot there.
Bro, like...
It is amazing Ireland, the difference of touring
Germany.
Sober, though, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
I've traveled all over the world in recovery. I really don't remember when I toured with my old band. I don't remember.
It's terrible. It's like, it makes me uncomfortable. The footage looks fun. I hear Sebastian. Let's bring him in.
Oh, is he here?
So the next guest, yes. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thanks
you
for
were awesome. Me. I hope we can do this again.
I hope somebody got something from this.
I hope so too. That's all I want to do. I just want to talk about it with like people that have like gotten themselves back on track, and then whatever comes out, and hopefully
follow me on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you get your music.
Up to his
YouTube.
500 million views.
Oh, I don't get that money. That's the record labels views. Anyway,
stick around. Yeah, let's. So this is technically done if you want to cut it, but like, I'm gonna say hi to Sebastian, who's